Thanks for joining us here. And what's your name, please?
I'm Sibongile Mazibuko. I'm the Executive Director for 2010 for the city of Johannesburg in South Africa.
Thanks for joining us here at INDABA. What brings you here today?
This has been a long journey. This is my fourth INDABA after this appointment as the Executive Director for 2010. My responsibility here today is to give confidence to the world that Johannesburg is ready to host the World Cup and to give evidential proof of our readiness. We started 4 years back. We came here and actually said to INDABA, this is the Joburg plan. This is how we're going to approach it. And for the past 3 years, and this being the last one, we're actually saying we are ready. Today, not only are we saying we are ready to host the World Cup, we're also saying to the attendees and of INDABA and to the media broadly that we are ready to host the FIFA Confederations Cup.
Now, it has been a very, very long journey, a lot of challenges, a lot of critics, but things are starting to come together now, aren't they?
Things are together. It's been a lot of critics, a lot of challenges, but I think we were not naive to think that the world would look at us and not criticize us. We actually took those challenges and those criticism in the stride and we dealt with them. We actually also looked at those challenges as actually energizers for us to deal with every other challenge. If you think back in 2006, after the Germany World Cup, the biggest challenge is, would South Africa ever start building stadiums? Today we're saying to you, not only are some of them complete, but some of them have now been tested with a number of events and number of games. And in fact, I believe we're one of the first countries that have hosted the World Cup who have been ready a year before the event, and we're proud of our track record.
Now, your first big test, 36 days ahead. What's the biggest challenge for the Confed Cup?
The biggest challenge of the Confederations Cup is to put those plans into practice. I think the infrastructure, we've proven ourselves that we are complete, we can deliver the infrastructure, but the operational plans, the movement of the people, the security issues, the broadcasting, those are now the actual delivery of this particular promise. And that's my biggest nightmare. Why am I saying it's a nightmare? Because it's going to be a nightmare from the first day of the opening ceremony to the last day. Because anything can go wrong. These are fragile experiences. The operational implementation of any project is very fragile.
Now, the Confed Cup is more than just a dress rehearsal. It's a great world-class football tournament.
For us, it's actually an opportunity for our own citizens to see the greatest of the world. These are the champions of confederations in their own confederations, but also we are hosting the champion of the world, the current title of the World Cup itself, and we're very proud to actually have the opportunity to host them in our shores.
Now, apart from South Africa winning, who else do you fancy for the Confed Cup?
South Africa must be ready for the Confederation Cup. Our players have been actually at it. The challenge is that we're also not playing against ourselves, we're playing against the champions of the world, and we're up to the challenge. I believe that our team Bafana would not actually be a walk through the park. In fact, with the supporters they would have for Confederation Cup in the stadiums themselves, which is actually mostly a regional a tournament, and also the support that we would have for Egypt, that would actually give quite a lot of support for the two participating teams in Africa.
Now, shifting ahead to 2010, it's 397 days to go. Actually, a lot less than you think. What's your biggest challenge? What keeps you awake at night?
What happened to all those days? At some stage I was counting 1,000 days, 2,000 days. They have shrunk. But having shrunk, we've also seen quite a lot of improvement. Our main venue for the World Cup in Johannesburg is Soccer City, is in the shape of the African pot, which we call the calabash. It actually epitomizes the African culture and the African tradition, and it's currently now 80% complete, and we're very proud of what we've achieved. 397 days to go. The clock is ticking, but also our preparations are advancing very, very well.
Now, as the key organiser in 2010, what's your vision on the legacy and how we use football and the sport to generate South Africa as a nation and Africa as a nation?
When we actually 4 years back launched our 2010 FIFA World Cup project, we actually included a very clear vision of wanting to use the pressure that comes with the hosting of the World Cup to generate a lasting legacy for South Africa. And this we did through the compliance of FIFA requirements. If you look at our own stadium, the Soccer City Stadium, it's actually situated in the buffer zone where the apartheid planning system was to separate the previously disadvantaged South Africa's Joburg from the advantaged Joburg. And what we are doing is we're using the pressure that comes with the hosting of the World Cup to address and to redress those particular differences of apartheid. But also in terms of technology, we bidded for the IBC. We are bringing in connectivity in the south of Johannesburg. With the satellite connectivity, with the fiber rollout that we're having in hosting the IBC, we are actually excited that we would actually reduce the cost of doing business in the previously disadvantaged part of Johannesburg. You should remember, there is two Johannesburg. The developed, central northern part of the Johannesburg, where everything is like Europe, and the disadvantaged Johannesburg, where everything is like typical township life. And we're using the pressure that comes with the World Cup to actually address these differences. The other thing that we're doing, our mayor, the executive mayor of the city of Johannesburg, Councillor Amos Masondo, identified social legacy projects. In those projects, he's actually gone through environmental issues. He's planting 200,000 trees. As we speak now, half of those trees are on the ground. And we're very excited about what we've been able to cover in terms of their legacy. We believe that in terms of hosting the World Cup, our own citizen would look back and say Johannesburg looked like this before we hosted the World Cup and before we planned for the hosting of the World Cup, and it has transformed to that. And we can see the lasting legacy. In terms of transport, which is traffic congestion, which is our biggest challenge in Johannesburg, we are actually using the biggest part of our investment, which in the bus rapid transit system and in the Gautrain, to deal with the congestion in our city.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us in INDABA.
Thank you very much. Hope to see you again in the next INDABA.